Enter the Gungeon is a bullet hell roguelite game with silly guns, sillier enemies, and enough content to keep you reloading it for a long time. This game is what you get when you combine the weapon variety and silliness of Borderlands with the gameplay of The Binding of Isaac. It's charming as hell, from the simple but cute animations to the fact that just about everything relates to guns. The enemies are bullets, the currency is bullet casings, and basically every enemy's name is a gun pun. This game was made by Dodge Roll, a 6-person dev team, and holy exploding bananas did they put a lot into it. Since its release, it's gotten about 50,000 reviews on Steam, and according to the players, it hit a bullseye with an overwhelmingly positive result. But before you pull the trigger, is Enter the Gungeon worth 15 bucks? The story goes like this. On a faraway planet, there was a fortress that held an awesome power, the gun that can kill the past. One day, a giant bullet or some shit came out of the sky and destroyed the fortress. They rebuilt it, and hunters who seek the mystical gun delve into the Gungeon to obtain its power. Entering the Gungeon for the first time, you pick your character and go in with nothing but your starting weapon and a dream. You go through and kill hordes of the gun dead and collect the rewards for each room, which are totally randomized. As you explore the first level of the Gungeon, you can find a bunch of special rooms which could include a shop to buy items at, a room with a locked chest in it, or even a cage with an NPC you can only free with a special key. Eventually you'll stumble on a boss room where you can find a randomized boss with a guaranteed punny name. After killing it, you get special currency and random rewards. Then you hop into this bullet-shaped elevator and delve deeper. It keeps going like that for 5 levels, with each level getting harder than the last. You just keep going until you get to the end, or more likely get shot a bunch and die. Rinse and repeat. The characters are these 4 fine folks: the Marine, the Pilot, the Convict, and the Huntress. Each character has their own special perks, starting guns, and each has their own final battle. Besides that though, there's really not that much effect on the general gameplay. The thing about this game that separates itself from others of the genre is you can't upgrade these guys at all. Instead of being able to upgrade your character's strength and abilities, you upgrade the Gungeon itself by expanding the possible things you can find within it. This means unlocking new guns, perks, NPCs, and rooms you can encounter in future runs. The way progression works in this game makes the gameplay loop really unique. Rather than getting stronger and barreling through the Gungeon a bit easier time after time, it stays at just about the same difficulty, but with more possibilities. There are tons of things to discover in this game. In fact, it's got over 200 guns, each more ridiculous than the last. A lowercase r, a beehive, and a unicorn horn that fires friendship, and that's just to name a few. Each gun is unique in sometimes crazy ways, and some even combine with other guns or items, completely changing how they behave. The movement in this game is slick. Whenever you unlock a room by killing all the enemies in it, a portal opens, allowing you to teleport to it from anywhere in that level. This mechanic was a really nice touch. It keeps the gameplay quick and snappy with little downtime between the action. You start getting really good at this game when you learn how to stop taking damage, and that means dodging the metric shit ton of floating orbs flying at you. There are a couple ways you can avoid them. You can do a super cool action movie dive to dodge the bullets, or you could flip a table like a badass, creating your own cover. These elements combined with bullet hell create gameplay that's challenging but fair. In the end, if you get hit by a bullet, you can say with confidence that it's your own damn fault. Enter the Gungeon shows a great balance between RNG and skill. How well you do ultimately depends on how good you are at not dying. Of course, having super overpowered guns and perks doesn't hurt. Sometimes you end up fighting the first boss with your shitty starting weapon and get mowed down instantly, and other times you have a D-pad gun that fires in 4 directions and perks that make the bullets bounce around the room. Welcome to bullet hell, bitch! Enter the Gungeon has a lot of shit. It's got tons of weapons, items, enemies, and bosses, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. What I'm getting at is that if you play for any amount of time, you'll find things strewn about the Gungeon that you won't know what to do with. This happened to me so often that I had to open the wiki just about every time I played. There's just too much shit to figure out, and the game doesn't really give you any clues on how to solve them. This game is one of the most casual-friendly roguelites I've ever played. The reason for that is after you beat a boss, you have the option of punching this friendly button in the face and saving your game. This is great because if you're having a good run but are running out of time, you don't need to abandon all your progress. Personally, I love this feature. It's great to know I can pick the game up, even if it's just for 15 minutes, and still retain my progress. After I unlocked a bunch of NPCs, I found that they expand on the game even further by changing some of the core mechanics of it. Not a fan of how you get items? Talk to this rainbow-loving fella and get a random selection of guns and perks at the start of each level. Just want to shoot random guns? Talk to this lady and you'll cycle through guns after you do a certain amount of damage. Gotta go fast? Talk to Tonic the Sledge Dog to speed up your runs. This game gives you so many options and lets you play the way you want to play, as long as you put in the time in first. So, is Enter the Gungeon worth 15 bucks? The game is full of character and had me laughing throughout. The gameplay is fun and challenging, and you'll never play the same round twice. It's incredibly replayable and just plain fun. Hell yes, it's worth it. If you want to discover cool new indie games like this one, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep the reviews coming.